Okay, let's do a quick mic check. Okay, it's a little low. Let's try it now. Okay, I think that's all set now. Okay, there we go. Last setup. 1 second, I'll be on camera. All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I didn't notice this until now. Let's move that over. I can probably, yeah, there we go. All right. So, promised a Halloween themed painting today, so I will be painting Elvira, a Halloween classic. I'm going to get my my palette out. I did not get that, prepare that. Still, uh, other than that, and my brushes, pretty well prepared for today's stream, I think. Finally. As far as the stream goes, it might be a little slow. What's it called? Started later than normal, and I canceled Wednesday stream, so I don't know how many people actually show up today, but we shall see. Either way, this should be a fun painting regardless. Actually, it might be a pretty challenging painting in a lot of ways because Elvira is um, very contrast heavy and very, very smooth. There's not a ton of texture. Um, and I tend to paint with a bit more texture. So we shall see. But generally speaking, when it comes to um, the issue of texture, I not entirely, but for the most part, tend to ignore that aspect of things. Only time I think it really, really matters is when you're doing like chrome type of stuff, I think. Just cleaning my brush real quick. I keep my brushes in a oil bath of mineral oil, so I clean them before I use them because you don't want to get mineral oil in your painting. So I'm gonna also, I think, clean my palette a little. Did I just drop some paint on the floor? Mm, no. Let me double check. So I have stuff on the floor to, absorb stuff. It's not a big deal if I get paint on the floor in theory. However, I don't want to leave it wet on the floor. Alright. Because it's Elvira, I am going to put out more black paint because Elvira. Definitely going to need more black paint. Actually, because it's Elvira, I'm going to approach this painting a little different than I often do. I'll explain that in a minute. Well, not specific to Elvira, it's just because of of the color of her outfit, her hair, and everything. Actually, and her skin, basically because of the colors of the piece. Um, so, because the contrast is so high, and um, yeah, because the contrast is so high, and white colors, white paint can pollute the black paint very easily. I'm probably going to, well, not probably, I am going to start very dark with everything, try and outline it all, and so on. Just gonna pour out some Miracle Medium before I begin, though. Need to pick up some more of this. Alrighty. Alrighty. Generally speaking, when I lay out a painting, I try to avoid going the darkest dark and the lightest light until the end. So I'm still gonna do that. Oh, on a second. Uh, 1 second. I will be right back. Alrighty. So, like I was saying, I try to leave the darkest dark and lightest light for, later on in the painting. So I'm going to try and do that here as well, which does mean I will put a little bit of white into the dark, but very little. And I'm also adding um, some blue and red because that will stop it from graying out and give it more life. So I am kind of sketching things in instead of going in with big, broad colors, just because of how strong the contrast is on this one. It will be probably very difficult to wipe anything back to that degree, so just easier to measure it out and kind of sketch it in. And this won't be, 100% accurate by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll get me in the ballpark, close enough that I can fix it. I am debating if I even want to use this color to mark off, like, um, what's it called, features on her face, or if I just want to save this for, like, the background and her hair. She is so light complexion wise. This one isn't even one of the most, like I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm assuming she puts makeup on. So this one isn't even that, um, you know, like whited out. Some of hers look like she's a ghost, which I'm assuming is the whole point. But yeah, Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna this color is so dark. Man, that what's it called? Phthalo blue just takes over sometimes. Gotta be careful with it. If you're wondering why I don't tone the canvas um, prior, uh, I, there's a few reasons. One of the most common, one of the reasons um, is because I um, I don't use solvent, so I don't rub it down with solvent and tone it that way. Hey Des, welcome. How are you doing? You made it. Thank you for making it. Did you, looks like you changed your name, your YouTube handle. It already looks like her. That's the funny thing about her. Requires very little to kind of give you the idea of who it is, honestly. She's so iconic and it's such a distinct look. Are you telling me you don't know why your name changed either? Or are you being coy about it? So the background's not as dark as she is. So I have to mix it. I'd say it's probably a pretty neutral gray, but I'm gonna add some color to it. That probably too dark. Yeah. At some point, I really need to remake this little easel I have, the easel within the easel. Just a little unsturdy. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna break one of my regular rules, and I'm gonna watch my brush mid um, painting, simply because I want a much lighter color now, and it'll just be a pain. And none of the cats are in here right now. So. And that's it. Just a quick wash to get some of the color out. So I can mix up some of her color, her skin tone. Um, shoot, I need to put out more. Um, quinacridone rose before I continue. All right. Oh, it looks like the camera slipped a little. Let me fix this. Let's say, yeah, there we go. A little better. Um, yeah, Des, I don't know why your name changed. Mm. I can't change your name. I thought maybe it was like as a moderator or something, but no. You're trying to fix it, but it won't take the account name as my chat name. Not sure why. I don't know. So she's not 100% white in this reference image. She has more like natural flesh tones, a little bit. She's still very white and light, but that's very strange, Des. I don't know. It's the space. It won't allow you to put a space in your name. That's interesting. So I have to put the paint down thick enough to cover up my pencil lines, which is good because that forces me to put it down thicker and more deliberately and not like wash it on as much. Apparently, I have to stop painting this moment and give Dresden attention. Hi, little boy. Yeah, okay. Hey, little boy. Dresden's been missing me a little bit. Yeah, my schedule's changed. I'm not at home as much. Oh, little boy. Says it's up to you. You don't have to. You can keep a pseudonym name. It's not unheard of. Mm, he's so cute. Okay, it does. I mean, it's up. It's up to you. I'm an abnormal person online. I use my real name, as branding, and I use it on pretty much all platforms. So, it's easy to find me online. But um, I also treat it appropriately. I assume that everything I do online, is public essentially. Oh, Dresden, baby boy. Oh, you're gonna make it really hard for me to paint. Look at you. Oh, yeah. All right, Dresden. I'm gonna put you down now. Alrighty. Before I take a photo and check my what's it called? Positioning of things, I will paint in her face and any other shadows that might be, you know, forming, and put it that way. Cat hair. There's no way I'm gonna get this right in the right place right away. Definitely gonna have to adjust them. Destin's trying to sabotage me. No problem. Des, I almost forgot to paint in her other asset. All right, I will be right back. I have to go wash my eye out. Be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Just getting set up again. Yeah, literally had to rinse, flush my eye because of Tristan. Uh, that little boy. All right. Okay. So I realized I'm off camera at the moment. I am just putting this into Photoshop. Are they happy now? My eyes? More aggravated. Um, but I think I got the hair out, so it'll get better in a little bit. The pets, are they happy now? Um, yeah, they're fine. I mean, they want dinner now, even though it's an hour early. I said I was feeding them. Oh, my bad. I forgot to take that off. That's from the last time. No, no. I had to go wash my eye because I got Dresden's hairs in my eye, and his hair is really, really fine. So it's really hard to like see or you know get. Now that was left from last time. I just didn't realize it was there. I'll fix that. Thanks for telling me. I appreciate it. I was not paying attention. I was just like, I gotta go get my eye cleaned out. All right. Feeding animals. There we go. Take that off. You were working on putting hanging hardware on your sister's paintings earlier and found cat hair all through the paint of one of them. Oh, yeah. It's one of those things. I try not, I try to be careful about that, but there are limitations. Alrighty. So I knew some of this was going to be off. When painting something like this, there's so much, there's so little lack of like anchor points to work off of that I knew it was going to be a bit off. So I don't know when this will happen. I don't know how it will, what I'll do. But Costco changed their gloves. So I still have the old gray ones, but they changed them to like the blue, kind of like you see at doctor's offices and stuff. Um, so we'll see. I might end up buying gloves from somewhere else because I'm not a fan of the blue ones. It's a very strong blue. I don't like that. I feel like it'll be distracting. So we'll see. I'll either use the blue ones or Costco will go back to the gray, or I'll start buying more expensive gloves somewhere. We'll see. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. I just realized something. Alrighty. So let's start and make some corrections here. Here is one of those things that, like, honestly, if it's a little more, a little less, usually not really a huge concern either way. Alrighty. Let's see here. I got this wrong. Goes out quite a bit more. It says I'm so exhausted. I can't wait for the week to be done. Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. Or wanting the week to not even start. Yeah, I can't say that I'm particularly looking forward to this week starting, but what can you do? Everything is varnished, everything is with the printer, just waiting now. Good job, Des. That's fantastic. I have a few paintings I actually need to varnish. Need to get on that actually. There we go. Now she's starting to really come together here. Hey, I will say her lips were pretty close, and her nose. That was pretty, I don't want to say spot on, but close. Let's see. Hey, hey, Milo, welcome. This off reference or memory? I'm kidding. It looks great. Thank you. Of course, it's off reference. Um, I could probably draw her from memory in a cartoony way. It would be probably be a little exaggerated in areas. Um, you know, but I think I could pull off a cartoony version of her for sure. Is everyone's name changing? Do I have to check my name now too? How are you doing, Milo? Or is it Mellow? Am I getting it all wrong? I'm sorry if I am. My brain not great with names. Rhymes with hello. Mellow. Okay, sorry, I'm bad. Yeah. Enjoying some. You're good. Enjoying some R&R. That's good. Yeah, let's see. She has that little like. There's a shine and also like a parting in her hair. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to do something Halloween themed, and I honestly was having a hard time thinking of something because I don't want to do like horror or gore necessarily. Not that I'm opposed to it, I just don't want to paint it, you know. Um, so I was trying to come up with something, and a friend was like, "Why don't you do Elvira?" Like, all right, cool. Thank you for helping me think of something. Last year I did uh what was it? Um The Bride of Frankenstein. And I also painted a cosplayer, but actually never finished that painting. I need to go back and finish it. It's one of those things I think artists often suffer from, not finishing stuff. I just too busy, and it wasn't a high priority. Are you doing any Halloween themed videos or anything? Mellow? Took me a second. I haven't been as caught up this week on like YouTube stuff, so I haven't seen much lately. I apologize if you're already doing that on your channel. I've been very busy this week. Like me, you weren't interested in gore or horror. Decided not uh decided not Nate's on painting Swamp Thing. Nice. You decided you painted Swamp Thing? Swamp Thing's cool. The other option, not, well, not the other option, but another possibility. I was thinking of doing David Bowie from Labyrinth. They kind of look the same. They do. I know it's funny. Oh, no worries, no. I'm horrible at typing. I know the feeling. The hair though does your they kind of look similar. Yeah, that looks bad. There's too much black in my brush is the reason. That's the one of the things that is frustrating when you're working with such high contrast like this. Yeah. That's why artists will have like some brushes for dark, some for light, separate them and everything. But I'm so bad at keeping track of that usually that I can't do it. But it would be cool. I also did a the shadow tribute, so that might count. I'm also considering painting Solomon Grundy. He's kind of a zombie. That definitely counts. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of things count. Absolutely. I'll I'll try and show you my the cosplayer I painted last year. She's just like a clown. She kind of looks like Harley Quinn, but I don't think she's technically Harley Quinn. But close enough, kind of thing. She painted into the darks and didn't think about the transfer and went back for a second stroke and ruined it. Oh well, it's not a big deal. I'm just talking and narrating. But yeah, you got to be careful when the paint just stays wet, so it transfers back onto the brush. Anyone who's ever done makeup, like goth makeup, knows the pain of putting down, you know, a light color and then getting like the black on it or the black powder. I dressed up as the Crow years and years ago for Halloween, and hate having makeup on me. Her face is pale. Elvira's makeup, did you use a blue tone as a base to paint her face? No, I didn't. And yes, she is very pale. However, this reference, she's got a little more flesh color to her. She's not like ghost white in this image. Um, but no, what I did was I painted all the darks first and then left the cutout of her face. And now I knew I was going to have to go back and forth between the two a bit because I never get it, perfect the first time around, uh but yeah. Yeah, she is definitely pale, but she is not ghost white in this one, which I like because if she was ghost white, it would just be boring, you know. Don't get me wrong, she's very light here too, but there's a little more, color to her. Of course, I don't have my lightest lights or my darkest darks in yet. So this is all playing with just a little buffer on both ends, giving me a little more, a little room to maneuver as I go through it. A lot of times, it's one of those funny things. I think a lot of times we think of things as a certain way. Like you'll think of something as being white or black, or, you know, for instance, her face, you'll think she's like super pale, and she is pale, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times there's a lot more, color or nuance than we like think about unless we've really studied it, you know? She really has the blood red lips, though. That she does. I probably should have looked up more of her lore because, you know, I I know of Elvira, but I wouldn't say I know her lore super well. If I remember correctly, it's what Elvira, Queen of the Dead or Damned or something. She's not actually like a vampire, if I remember correctly. I know in some of her stuff she has a skeleton that's like her co-host. Another person online. Welcome. Elvira broke my heart when she came out supporting the orange one. Nah, really? I did not hear about that. I was unaware of that. That is honestly shocking. Well, I already started the painting, so I'm not going to stop it now, but that's unfortunate. Hey, Donley, welcome. Thank you, Donley. I appreciate that. Another person online. Sorry for that. Yeah, well, it is what it is, What can you do? Not like I said, I'm not gonna, you know, like I already started, so oh well. How are you doing today? Another person online, and Donley, how are you doing? All things considered, I'm good. That's good. Glad to hear that. Donley says you managed to get her likeness in record time. It's not difficult. She's so, you know, her look is so distinct. It's pretty easy. Hey, I got a raid. Welcome, raiders. Chicken Wing is raiding with a party of 12. Welcome, raiders. So I have I have two chats going on, just FYI, in case anyone's confused. I have one on YouTube and one on Twitch. Cousin Ivory, welcome, and Chicken Wing, welcome, welcome. Uh, Brad's Brad Slay, welcome. Chicken Wing says, "Hey, dude, this is great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that." And Cousin Ivory says, "Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, welcome. How are you all doing? What were you up to?" Chicken Wing, what were you up to today? What was your stream? If you care to share, you're welcome to. I trying to remember. I'm either blanking or I'm unfamiliar with your content. I'm horrible with written names though, so it could be either, honestly. Another person online says, I do a little painting myself. Very nice. What kind of painting do you do? Uh, in case anyone is curious, I think it's in the title, but this is oil paints. So yeah. Uh, Chicken Wing says, how you doing, man? We were working on a thought experiment on stream, a weird tier list. Haha. Nice. That can be a lot of fun. Oh, it's always fun to get into, you know, theoretical stuff sometimes. Like, just think of very random stuff. I used to do when I was, the whole like comic book stuff, like who would win in a fight and, on and on from there kind of thing. Another person online says, I do oil painting as well. Very nice. Very cool. You can't share in the YouTube chat, but we do have a Discord. If you want to share work there, you're welcome to. Uh, uh, Brad Slayer says ranking everything and reading corn syrup. Interesting. Uh, uh, Cousin Ivory says no way Batman could kill Superman. I mean, he has plot armor. Don't forget that. Chicken Wing says oil painting is so intimidating. I paint with acrylics mostly. I actually think that unless you're doing like architectural paintings, I think oil painting's easier than acrylics, personally. I hate painting with acrylics. I have nothing against them as far as like uh, final product. I just don't like the experience of painting with them. And oil painting is much easier. There is a learning curve for sure, but it's not that um, it's not as big of a learning curve as I think some people think. And once you get past that, then it just becomes a matter of like the painting and not so much the materials. At least in my opinion. You know, I am biased. I do prefer it, but yeah. Uh, Des also agrees with me, but yeah. Uh, but I mean, like I said, it's more an issue of like the experience of painting with them, not the results, right? You can do amazing things with acrylics, yeah. You like to layer too much? Okay, you know what? I take that back. If you like to layer, then acrylics are better. I take that back. If you like to layer, acrylics are better. But the question is, do you like to layer because you're painting in acrylics? Um, right? Or like, would you want to layer as much if you weren't painting in acrylics? You know, I don't know. You'd have to be the one to answer that. My style is very layer focused even before you start painting. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, if you want to share your Instagram or something, you're welcome to here. hold on, I forgot to put this here. Never mind. Do it. I'll do this one. You like the idea of depth you can get with a bunch of layers? Oh, you absolutely can get fantastic depth with layers, and there's there's a luminosity that you can get with layering that I don't know that you can get with what's it called, with without layering. So I totally could see that. Let's see here. Camera, you are failing at your job of following me. Oh, very neat. Oh, there's a wow, you get into a lot of repetitive stuff and details. Um, I do not have the patience for that. But yeah, very cool. Very abstract, some very abstract stuff here. Yeah, lots of repetitive mark making. Yeah, absolutely. Very neat. Here, I'll share with what's it called? My other chat if they want to see. But yeah. Um and another person online, like I said, there's you can't share it on the YouTube uh chat because of the YouTube automated what's it called? What is it called? Automated monitoring, moderator. It automatically will take them out. So Des can share because she is a mod, but yeah, that's unfortunately the way it goes. I tried fixing it; it never works properly. Um, but yeah, you can definitely paint unrealistic things in oils if you want. It depends what you want to do, but I get it. After seeing what you do, I understand why oils is not your go-to. I get it. The repetitive marks and stuff like that, you'll run into the problem of it staying wet and so on. For sure, oil painting is way more glamorous. I don't know that I'd put it like that, but yeah, you're attracted to it. I love it personally. There's something really very very pleasing about the process of working with oils. Uh, Mello says, "Gotta go. This is looking great. I'll make sure to catch the rest when I can. Have a good evening, everyone." Mello, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And yeah, I will try it. I will not be able to finish this tonight. We're getting close. Not exactly at the end of stream, but definitely won't be able to finish it tonight. So probably be next stream as well. Chicken Wing says you're very talented. I love your work, at least what I've seen on the side of stream. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I usually have a wall back here full of paintings. Right now, it's just partially full of paintings. Let's see, because I took a lot of my paintings to a what's it called? Uh, an art fair, and I haven't had a chance to put them all back yet. But yeah. Future oil painter, welcome. How are you doing? It's me, another person. Welcome. How are you? Um, Thank you very much, Cousin Ivory. I appreciate that. Uh, that's not that. Okay. Don Lee says I need to get going. Take care, everyone. All right, Don Lee. Thanks for hanging out. And also, by the way, you guys should check out Don Lee. He's a streamer as well on Twitch under his username Don Leo. He does digital art, really fun stuff. Future oil painter. What do you paint with now if you don't paint with oils? Or do you already paint with oils and you're just getting into it now? I'm not about to leave yet. No, I'm gonna be going for another like 20 minutes at least, minimum, I would say. That's just a name you came up with back when you were first starting. That's fair, and it just stuck. Fair enough. I'm assuming you're also an artist? Do you stream on Twitch or no? What's my Discord? Let me make sure I get the link. Oh wow, that was wrong. Nope, hold on a second. You have streamed but not regularly. That's all right. Let me see here. I do not have commands set up properly to for anything because I just hold on, that's wrong too. What is going on here? Okay. It's just sometimes it's just too much to set up things, you know? All right, here we go. There we go. I put a lot of focus on getting my camera, you know, my camera set up right and all of that stuff. Put way more focus on that than I did on anything else when it comes to streaming. That and audio, right? Like, those were the two things I really wanted to make sure were good. I was streaming at what's it called? I was also streaming at 4K at one point, but I ran into some issues because of the dual streaming and also some plugin that what's it called? There's a plugin that I rely on that is a bit of a problem for me with OBS, unfortunately. We'll see. One day I'll figure out a fix for it. But yeah, because my camera is actually above me, and this is all shot at an extreme angle. And I use a plugin to distort everything so that it looks head on or relatively head on. Looks like it's shifted a little, right? Was it this? Is this what made it shift? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I use a plugin um, to make everything seem like it's flat. I wish they built the feature into OBS natively because I'm astonished that it's honestly not in OBS natively. Yeah, you're all welcome to join the Discord. We talk art there. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not the most active Discord in the world, but people are very responsive. It's just, we're not constantly spamming stuff. Um, and I stream twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday. Although, yeah, my schedule is going to be under a little bit of flux in the near future, unfortunately. But yeah, generally speaking, Sunday and Wednesday. And also, when we on stream, we talk art, and people are always welcome to ask questions if they have it. I've heard some people say they didn't want to ask questions because they didn't want to bother me, and I'm like, well, if I don't want to be bothered, I just won't stream while I'm painting, like, you know. And then the other thing is, we do have little friends who come by as guests. Oh. Yeah, this is Dresden. Hi, Dresden. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have I have three cats and a dog, but this one is he's the one who shows up the most and the only one who likes to be held. I have to be careful though because for a while he was actually afraid. Oh, he was actually afraid of my monitor because he saw a cat in my monitor and thought there was a cat living in my monitor. So he was scared of my monitor. If you haven't put two and two together, it was him he saw in my monitor. Oh, okay, Tristan. Yeah. He's named Dresden after the book series, The Dresden Files. Right now, he wants dinner, is what's really happening. So he's like coming to bug me to feed him. Oh, oh, you only know of the city obliterated in World War II. No, I know. There's a book series called The Dresden Files. It's about it's a like urban fantasy. It's about a wizard, you know, who lives in Chicago. It's a ongoing book series, quite long. he probably named him Dresden after the city in, you know, but I named him after the book series, and then we adopted a dog after we adopted him, and the dog's name was already Wizard. So we named him after a wizard and then adopted a dog named Wizard. It's a handsome name. Thank you. Oh. Usually he doesn't like to stay this long. He's I also call him Squirmy Worm because he's very, very squirmy sometimes and just will not stay in my hands, but apparently he does not want to leave now. Dresden, I can't paint with you in my hands. I would put you in one of those bags or like a baby carrier or something and wear you if you wanted, but you would make that very challenging, honestly. I did this painting of him recently. I actually had another painting of him, but the other painting of him sold, so I don't have it anymore. Because in ivory, I know, just as you asked, right? Yeah, I have a painting of him, and I have a painting of my other cats. I need to do one of Wizard now of the dog. He's next on the list. Okay, Dresden. He's so floofy. So vicious biting me. Mm. Ah. Future oil painter says that's great. I give my paintings away, but maybe one day, who knows? Um, I mean, I've said this before. If I was like wealthy and never had to worry about money at all, I'd probably give my paintings away in general. Future oil painter. Here's my latest complete oil painting on a wood panel. Nice. Oh, very nice. And the one of I'm assuming your dad outside working outside? Very cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing paintings and giving them away if that's what you like to do. I mean, the whole idea is to share them, you know? Um, that's your dad? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, very cool. All right. see if I can make a little more progress on this before it's time to call it a night. But yeah, I think you did a great job with those paintings. You'd like to start a website and sell? Sure. I totally get that. I use Squarespace. I don't know that I'd necessarily endorse them. Their their fees and everything. Um, their fees are actually fine. It's more just the price of it, of the website. If you're doing e-commerce stuff, is like it's worth it if you are selling enough. If you're not selling enough, I don't know that I would sell that I would use them for e-commerce right away. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the issue I have with them. Like their prices are not um like I said, the fees and stuff are fine. It's just the price of the website is kind of high if you're selling, but not selling a lot. Yeah. You've heard of Shopify? Yeah, Shopify, I don't know. I think how can I put this? I do think Shopify probably has better selling tools because it's much more geared towards that. I definitely came across some things in Squarespace that weren't that user friendly, and I was just like, "Oh, man, they could have made this a lot easier." Um, so yeah, but I don't know how good it works as like a website that is also like a gallery and stuff like that, for the art kind of thing. There is also um there's a website specifically designed for um painters. Um I thought about moving over to there, uh but their back end, uh last time I tried to use them, their back end was pretty abysmal. So it's what is it? Not Fazo. Maybe it is Fazo. A lot of painters use them, like really high end painters. But their back end stuff was just awful. Very, very clunky the last time I tried to use it. Maybe they've improved it. I don't know. It was very clunky at the time. Not that Squarespace has, blown me away, honestly. So I will say this: if you know someone who uses any particular site and they're experienced in it, that might be the way to go. Because having someone to help you, you know, with all that stuff might be worth it regardless of of who's better. You'll have to start making prints. Um, sure. Prints are a good way of making money. The only issue with print is um, if you're doing print on demand, um, it's really hard to make money off of that. The price point on it is not very good. Chicken Wing says the shape of the hair could not be more accurate. Thank you. Yeah. There's more going into the hair still. There's a bunch of highlights and stuff that are gonna be going onto it. I'm just, you know, getting things situated right now, and, yeah, I'm not unfortunately, I won't be able to finish it today, but I will keep working on it, on stream, so I'll stream Wednesday, and I'll, work on it some more there. I don't do the longest streams in general. My streams are usually around the 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I just I like streaming, but it is draining, and I do get tired. Uh, and sometimes I have stuff I need to do afterwards, and so I just at a certain point have to just call it, kinda thing. Future Oil Painter says, I made a painting as a gift for my favorite cousin showing a couple of Mexican revolutionary generals, and he recently posted it on Facebook. Actually said it brought a tear to his eyes. You were so happy. Like, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Chicken Wing says, yeah, making art with eyes on you is more mentally taxing. Uh, and Future Oil Painter says, I'll post it for you to see it. Thank you. Appreciate that. That would be great. Yeah, it's for me at least personally, it's not so much the eyes on me that is the issue. Um, it's just the back and forth between like painting, reading chat, reading out loud chat, responding, keeping track of the different conversations going on. Because I have a YouTube chat running at the same time. That's why, by the way, I don't have notifications on. So if anyone followed me, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't have the pop-up notifications because I have like too many windows open as it is to keep track of. So I gave up on the pop-up notifications, but I do appreciate anyone who follows and all of that stuff. I appreciate it. All right, let's give her face a little bit of a rest and put in some highlights. I'm putting in the highlights really dark right now because I'm I want to put the light part of it later so that I don't really touch it much afterwards, at least ideally. Yeah. Uh, Cousin Ivory says, I'm always worried about hitting a bad proportions and making mistakes on camera. Yeah, I understand that. I definitely do that. I make mistakes and I just try and remember that like everyone does, and I even will point it out a lot of times because it's just, what am I going to do? Hide it? No. So I'm just going to point it out and show, and I also show my technique. Well, I show part of it. I can't show the whole thing, not because I'm keeping it a secret. It's a what's it called? I don't I don't have it set up so that you can see my screen. I have it set up so that I can't accidentally show my screen, but because of that, I can't show my screen at all. Um, because I sometimes work on NDA stuff, and I don't want to take the chance that I'll accidentally share NDA, stuff on stream. Yeah. Uh, Sorry, that was my phone. It notified me that someone shared on Discord something. Just did it again. Sorry about that. It usually doesn't come through. Sorry, I didn't mute my phone today. I had to leave it on for something just in case. Um, so yeah, and then what was like so what I do is for the for the painting is I have a photo reference. One thing, by the way, if anyone who's you know able to do this, if you can crop your reference image to the same proportion of your canvas, it makes a huge difference. Just putting it out there. If you ever use photo reference, try and crop it to the same proportion. Makes a huge difference. But then what I do is I lay out everything, and then I take a photo of my painting. I put it into Photoshop, and I overlay the two, and I can see my proportions and see where I messed up, where I got it right, and so on. It's a great way of it's kind of like using what's the word? A projector or something, but you can keep using it throughout the process. Let's see. Future Oil Painter says, Lee posted on the Discord for you. Question: Are you able to make a living off of painting, uh, or is this a hobby for you? Well, I don't make a living off of painting yet, but I work in TV animation doing storyboards for TV animation. I'm currently between gigs. The animation industry has been going through a bit of a rough time lately, and things have been very volatile. But that is generally like my day job, um, or at least it was, I should say. Um, and my goal is to originally oil painting was just a thing I did for myself because wanted I wanted a break from working on the computer and working on other people's projects, and um, and now I'm really into it, and I really want to do this full time. So I'm working on that at the moment. But no, I don't currently make a living directly from this, unfortunately. But I'm working on it. It is. Let's see. Future painters are totally familiar with volatile professions. I was an architect for the longest time. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that as far as like that business, but and the animation industry in general, like a lot of times you'll work on a project and then the project will end or they'll restructure or something, then you have to find another project to work on. Unfortunately, the animation industry has also been going through a crazy time, um, as a consequence of like what happened during COVID. um, and what's happened with streaming, and also what's happening with AI, and like it's just all kind of hitting at the same time, unfortunately. So things have been really, really crazy. But I am friends with a lot of people who make their living as oil painters. So, you know, it is definitely doable. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a quick or easy thing to do. Um, for sure, it is neither of those things, but it is possible. In architecture, it's similar projects, and bam, they fire everyone. Yeah, we the last project I was on was a show on Fox called Crapopolis. You might be familiar with it or not. Either way, um, we finished season we finished season 3 just as season 1 started coming out, which was a huge a huge deal. We got a greenlit for season 3 before season 1 ever came out. They even wrote some articles about it. Um, Unfortunately, they were so far ahead of everything that they ended up scaling back the teams because they were just so far ahead with the production at that point that they literally didn't didn't need so many people, didn't need to rush production, didn't need any of that. So they scaled back and cut positions. So yeah, and then um, like I said, everyone when the COVID happened, all the studios over invested in animation because you could do it from home, which they liked. But then uh, after COVID, they're cutting back on animation. And also, they all realized that they're not making money off of streaming. So that's why they're all trying to charge, trying to put commercials into streaming now because they didn't realize that they wouldn't make any money off of streaming if everybody was streaming. Not just like if just Netflix is streaming, great, Netflix can make money off of it, no problem. Um, but if everyone's streaming and everyone's producing their own thing and not just licensing, they don't make any money off of it. Really silly. Very, very silly. So right now I'm putting in a lot of the colors that I'm going to be putting in lighter, I'm putting in much darker as a base because I know I'm not going to have time to actually put in all the highlights I want. So I'm just kind of preparing the base for it so that there's a rich undertone. And then when I go in with the lighter stuff with the highlights, they'll blend in together and give the highlight effect. I need to work on that part. But yeah. But yeah, when I'm you'll if you watch my VODs or you watch next time I start a painting, you'll see I'll lay out my painting and then after like an hour, 20 minutes, depending, I'll go back in and do corrections and like redraw parts of it. That's usually how I start my streams as well. If I have a project that I'm already working on, like next time I start this, when I come back to it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another photo, put it into Photoshop, overlay my painting and the reference, and then I'll like go in and, adjust things because I'm a I'm a bit of a messy painter, and as I paint, things tend to shift a little. And when you're doing faces, especially like this is a pretty small face overall. Just a couple millimeters really makes a huge difference. So yeah, I don't I don't shy away from showing all those mistakes that I make because everyone makes those mistakes. Well, let me rephrase that. Almost everyone makes those mistakes. There's a few painters and artists out there who are just so good, they don't. But the reality is they probably did. They just over time they don't. But they probably did in the beginning. 'Cause in Ivory, let's have a good night. Have a good night to you too. And thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Also with her hair being as dark as it is, I'm actually I'm still trying to avoid putting down just pure black paint. It might be hard for you all to see, but none of this is pure black paint because I'm trying to avoid putting that down until I absolutely have to. She is really suited for that, I will say that, like, I could easily see, you know, like, if I was doing this in ink or something, I would probably just do pure black, for most of her outfit and her hair and everything. But when I'm oil painting, I tend to do a little more nuance, as far as that is concerned. Actually, I often don't even do such high contrast, subjects. It's not kind of rare. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Someone shared something in Discord. Oh, nice. But that was me. That was my phone again. Sorry. Hey, future oil painter. This is the one you did for your cousin? That's really cool. That's awesome. I don't know the story behind it, but, you know, the, the historical, information, but it's very cool. I do like the all the buckles that you did on the leg. That's a nice, touch, detail there. Alright. You like the lighting and shading? Yeah, it does. That is a good point. The cast shadows is very nice too. I like that. Good point. Very nice. All right, friends. I am going to call it a night though. It is let's see. Yeah, a bit of a short stream. Well, regular time for me, I'd say. I wish I could stream for longer, but I cannot do that today. I've unfortunately stuff I have to get to and an early day tomorrow. So I'm going to call it a day. I will be back on Wednesday. Fingers crossed. Should be back Wednesday. And I can keep working on Elvira. I'll be honest, it's a pretty simple painting. I think I should probably finish it next time, or at least get very close if everything goes right. To all the new people, thank you for stopping by. To the Raiders, thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm blanking on if I have anything else I should say. I do have some YouTube videos on my YouTube channel. I am slowly working on more videos. Yeah, it's hit the back burner a little bit, but I will have more videos soon-ish. Um, and that's it. Have a good rest of your weekend if it's still the weekend. And sorry, cat. And I will hopefully see you Wednesday. Have a good one.